We will be conducting tonight's meeting in person as well as in a virtual setting using Zoom. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting tonight on Wave Channel 18 and online through the city's YouTube channel. If you'd like to participate in live public comment via the Zoom platform, please refer to the agenda for instructions. Chair Hutchinson will begin the meeting shortly.
Aha, thank you. Thank you to my colleague. Good evening. I would like to welcome you all to the December 18th, 2024 City of Lincoln Regular Planning Commission meeting and call it to order. Secretary, may we please have a roll call?
Commissioner Jerry Johnson,
Present.
Commissioner McKinney,
Here.
Vice Chairman Gilbert,
Here.
Chair Hutchinson,
Here.
and I believe Commissioner Eric Johnson is just running a little bit late.
All right. Thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Commissioner Jerry Johnson if he would lead us in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on our agenda would be any agenda modifications. And do we have any agenda modifications this evening? Hearing none, then the next item is public comment on non-agenda items within the subject matter or jurisdiction of the commission. If there are members of the audience who wish to speak to an agenda item, then that would come at a different time. This would be anything other than that. And Jesse, do we have anyone online that is interested in speaking?
No, I've not received any comment cards and there are no hands raised online.
Thank you. Then the next item is informational items from staff. Do we have any informational items?
Just a quick confirmation, we are canceling the January Planning Commission meeting, and we'll be seeing you in February with a calendar, actually for the whole year, likely to have July dark and December dark. And so just given the way Wednesday fell this year, it makes sense. And next Wednesday for January will be actually deeper into January. So it makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Hutchinson, if I may, just one more item, just a follow-up from last meeting. We updated the Village 5 annexation. It was heard by the LAFCO on the 9th, 4th special meeting. It was approved unanimously by LAFCO commissioners. So now we're going to get busier and larger, and so moving forward. So, but just want to update you.
Staying busy and yes, getting larger. You know, nothing seems to move really, really quickly. Thank you so much. The next item on the agenda is disclosure of any ex parte communication. Do any of my colleagues wish to disclose or have ex parte communication? None. Then the next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. All matters on the consent agenda are considered routine business and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request is made to remove a specific item for separate action. We have one item on the consent agenda, which we have anyone that wishes to remove the item on the consent agenda, which is the approval of our minutes. Oh, I don't have that. Yes, we do.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
May we have a roll call, please? Can we do that with just by acclamation, or do we need to do a specific roll call?
I think you can do it, yeah.
Roll call, that's what I thought. Okay.
You can do a voice, yeah.
We can do voice?
Yeah.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing pertaining to the Custom Grading Incorporated design review application to construct an 8,000 square foot industrial building with on-site improvements in association with an existing excavation business. And our staff person, Michaela Noble, will share information with us. Michaela, you're up.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Michaela Noble, Assistant Planner with the Community Development Department. The project we have before you is a design review application for an industrial building and on-site improvements in association with an existing excavation business. The proposed project involves the construction of an 8,000 square foot industrial building. Approximately 70% of the floor area will be used as a shared workshop and vehicle storage area. And the remaining floor area will consist of an administrative office space, a break room, and restrooms. The project owner and applicant, Custom Grading Inc., currently operates an excavation business at this site. The company's administrative staff also have an office located on Lincoln Boulevard, as there are currently no buildings or structures on this Gladding Road site. Construction of this project would enable all operations relating to the business to be held on-site. The proposed project is located west of Gladding Road near the Lincoln's northern city limit. The project site is generally bounded by industrial development and open space areas. The property has a zoning designation of industrial. Uses permitted within this zone include fabrication, processing, and production facilities, storage, and warehousing. As I previously mentioned, the project owner and applicant, Custom Grading Inc., currently operates an excavation business at this site. Excavation is a permitted by right use within this district. The existing site features a berm along the eastern property line off Gladding Road, a drainage detention basin in the southeast corner of the parcel, and drainage ditches along the northern and western property lines. The proposed construction project is situated and focused generally in the northeastern portion of the parcel, and less than 1 acre of the 7.6 acre site is projected to be disturbed. As indicated in the site plan above, the driveway access to the site is located off of Gladding Road. The proposed warehouse building would be served by 16 off-street parking spaces. The single-story metal building would have a maximum height of approximately 23 feet and is located within the required zoning setbacks.
Before you leave that slide, could we ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
There's a dotted line running at a 45-degree angle, I guess, at the, there, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, that indicates a zoning line.
No, that's an existing drainage pipe.
Okay.
So the zoning lines so the property lines are indicated in the bolded dark lines, and then these lines right here are the zoning setbacks.
So that, yeah. I read it as something else, sorry.
No worries.
And the,
Are you talking about this line right here?
yes. Well, no,
Okay. So yeah, that line is, that line is inaccurate. The zoning map is indicated by the property right here, the property line. That is what the zoning map shows on our records as being industrial. Everything outside of that is
so that
not
dotted
relevant.
line is not supposed to be there.
Correct, correct.
And that retention basin, is that currently used to capacity? Or how does that work?
We can kind of go into the drainage after the presentation. We have our engineer online as well.
Yeah, I would suggest that we let Michaela finish her report, and then we we'll have opportunities for any comments. Thank you.
Of course. Continuing on, the proposed project includes windows and doors on the northwest and east elevations, which are potentially visible from Gladding Road on the project. The color palette includes galvanized metal sheeting, paint in the colors of polar white, fox gray, and sandstone. The proposed project is consistent with the city's general plan and zoning ordinance. As stated in Title 18, both excavation and warehousing are permitted by right uses in the industrial zone. For design standards, our code is pretty minimal on what we have on file. So with saying so, in October, the Design Review Board reviewed the proposed project and did not provide any comments. The DRB unanimously recommended approval of the project to the Planning Commission. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission determine that the project is exempt from CEQA and adopt a resolution approving the design review application for the construction of an 8,000 square foot industrial building with project-specific and typical conditions of approval. The city has not received any public comments pertaining to this project, and tonight we have the project owners and applicants, Troy and Carrie Scott, here if you have any questions for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I open the public hearing, do any of my colleagues have any additional questions of staff or comments?
Here.
Yes, Commissioner Gilbert.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Would it be appropriate to ask about drainage issues now, or what's your,
Yes,
okay.
we can certainly do that. Are you through with your comment as far as a thank you? Yes.
I had a question.
Perfect,
Presentation, so
perfect.
I
Thank you.
Run out of questions.
All right, thank you. And Commissioner Johnson, your comments regarding drainage?
Well, yeah, there's a drainage channel, I guess you would call it, between the roadway and the property.
The berm.
Okay. Berm, I think of as positive. This is negative.
Sure.
Okay. It's full of trash and garbage and that sort of thing. Is this on the, within the property that we're looking at now?
It's along the property. I would have to double check to see if that kind of culvert that you're talking about is within the right of way or if it's actually within the property. However, that will be looked at more with the improvement plans. Again, this is kind of the entitlement phase. We do have to go through a full drainage analysis as part of the improvement plans. So we will be reviewing that at that time.
And you'll be reviewing whether the retention basin is sufficient to handle the additional
Correct.
load? Okay. Right, then.
Any other comments from my colleagues before I open it to public comments? Right. Then I'm going to open the hearing to the public to make any comments they should wish to have. Yes, and would, the applicant is here. If you'd like to make any comment or speak to this, we're happy to hear you. All right, okay. All right, and with that, then I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Gilbert.
I'd like to propose that we approve item 9A as submitted by staff.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Vice Chairman Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner McKinney,
Yes.
Commissioner Eric Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jerry Johnson,
Yes.
and Chair Hutchinson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Yes, welcome.
Get the shovel in the ground.
All right, and then the next item is an item of general business. Do we have any general business to discuss this evening? Seeing none, then before I call for an adjournment, do we have any commissioner comments?
Merry Christmas to everybody, staff and everybody.
I will
I
second.
second that motion.
Likewise,
And
yeah.
I will,
Merry
I will
Christmas.
third it, and a happy new year. I'd like to see 2025 be very prosperous for
Happy and
all of us.
healthy.
Happy and healthy, that's correct. All right, and with
I,
that.
I have
oh,
a, just
oh,
a
yes.
question that perhaps Chris can answer. If we're only going to have 9 regular planning commission meetings, what does that do to our attendance requirements?
It's still based on whether you're, there at the meetings that are held. I guess if that makes sense. I mean,
Uh-huh.
It won't count against you if it's a council meeting, no one's attending, so.
Maybe,
It just, it would just, the universe would go down to 9. And so you're still held to, is it what, you missed 2 or 3?
2.
Yeah,
And
2.
So it's one thing missing 2 out of 12, it's another
Right.
thing missing. 2 out
Maybe
of
we
9.
can do the proportional math or something and make sure it's.
Half, we can miss
One and a half.
Yeah.
You're-
Right,
Can't miss any.
Come in
You're
late.
dedicated
we
to
could
the
debate that
planning.
minutia offline.
Yeah, and you
All
will be
right, and,
adopting this calendar in February, if you, and if you see fit or, to change it, then we can do that. too.
Do I have a motion to
Oh,
adjourn? Oh,
Excuse me,
sorry.
I'd like to follow that up. I've been at this for 45 years as an appointed and elected official, and the best laid plans, mice and men. So we're planning 10, but, depending what happens with interest rates and several other elements, we might find that we need an extra meeting or 2 during the year. I don't think staff has enough vision to predict that, but we should all be prepared. If it comes through the door and the staff is able to process it, we'll do what we can to get it approved as quickly as possible. So we may end up with more than 12.
No, I-
And actually, that would be a good thing
I've
because
seen that.
we'll be adding staff and we'll be adding money to the bottom line of the city. So I wanted to make a positive response to the thought of meetings. Thank you.
And you're welcome, most welcome. And do I have a motion to adjourn? All right.
I'll second.
Second, all right, and we don't need a roll call for this, so Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.